Hi, I'm Mike. A cold weather front is in the process of moving into the area. This morning, it's 5 degrees outside with a wind chill of minus 22. Now that affects pretty much everything on the ranch. And this morning, we head out to make sure all the animals are taken care of, and we get a chance to check on what the cold temperatures are doing to our ongoing stock tank experiments. It's all coming up on our Wyoming Life. Welcome back to Our Wyoming Life, and thanks for coming along with us as we explore the ranch life and escape the ordinary. Please subscribe and join us 3 times per week as we delve into the life of ranching, gardening, and family on a Wyoming ranch. The project list is behind me, and sometimes the project list is just about keeping everybody happy and warm. A cold front is currently hitting the U.S., moving down from Canada and bringing cold temperatures that are sure to break records. What we're dealing with is nowhere even close to what our friends in the upper Midwest are expected to experience over the next few days. But the weather still affects the ranch, and mostly the animals that call this place home. The cows have shelter in weather like this in the form of a 40-foot by 100-foot long building we call the cow shed. It's closed on 3 sides, and when the cows aren't out eating or drinking, they're going to hang out in here, staying out of the weather, huddling together for warmth. But once they hear the tractor fire up, they come on out, expecting breakfast, and for good reason. Digestion creates heat in cows. The more they eat, the warmer they are. And as we head out to get them their food for this morning, they follow right along. Now, you might notice that we have forks on the tractor rather than our usual bale spear that we usually use for feeding. That's because the bale spear is broken. After a few years of use, the metal gives way to fatigue, and just like that, they break. Lifting bales that weigh over 1,000 pounds apiece, day after day, will do that. And it's not the end of the world. Another spear is on the way, but until it gets here, we switch to the forks, and we can move bales with them to get them ready for feeding. It's not as elegant, but it works. Cows obviously don't feel cold the way we do, but they're still affected by it. Cold stress in cattle can cause a real problem. The colder it is, the more energy a cow uses to keep warm. As the temperature drops below freezing, they're going to require more food and more caloric intake to maintain body temperature. A temperature of 10 degrees with winds blowing at about 20 miles an hour will result in a 30% increase in requirements for calories for a cow. In a 1,400-pound cow, that equates to about 4 extra pounds of food per day. Lower temperatures and higher winds increase those demands, and especially over extended periods of time. And because we're expecting a few days of very cold weather, we're going to start increasing their feed now and hopefully give them a boost they need to get through the next few days. These cows are all entering their 3rd trimester of pregnancy, and they're already dedicating a massive amount of energy to the calf growing inside them. Today, we'll be feeding an extra bale of feed to these cows, our pregnant breeding herd, increasing their daily intake from an average of a little bit over 20 pounds per cow per day to around 28 pounds. Cold weather slows down the entire process, and the tractor, the hydraulics, they're going to run slower. Cows are going to move slower, and camera batteries are not going to last as long. In addition, making sure that I'm dressed appropriately and warming up as much as possible is important too. After feeding the breeding herd plenty, we also have other cows on the ranch that need attention. The steers on the other side of the road need to be fed, and the bulls are anxiously awaiting some food also. Once everybody's fed and the tractor's put away, then it's time to go out and take care of waters. Over the past week, we've been performing our water experiment, trying to determine if there's a more economical way to keep water open for animals. We've been testing tank heaters on timers, tank heaters left on all the time, a tank bubbler, and of course the manual method of breaking ice. After getting water on for bulls and steers, we can take a look and see how the experiment is faring this morning in these cold temperatures. Another aspect of this experiment is not using the same tanks to test the same method constantly. With wind moving through the area or the exposure of a tank, it can make a difference. And we've been rotating heaters throughout the tanks to keep the results from being too skewed by placement. The tanks with the heaters in them are still open, although you can see that the ice is moving in on the tank. This tank is currently running on a timer, on for 2 hours, off for 2 hours, using about $2.43 worth of power per day. The tank with the heater on all the time and only relying on its internal thermostat is also beginning to freeze over, and it's been using $3 worth of juice per day. As for breaking ice and leaving it or removing it, in these temperatures, I haven't seen much difference in the refreezing time. Both of them refreeze, and the ice removed does equal about 20 gallons per day. With no difference in refreezing time, it does make sense just to leave the ice in the tanks. Of course, on warmer days, that may change, and this is exactly the reason this experiment is ongoing. Another tactic that we've been experimenting with has been the most advantageous to this point, but it may be the hardest to regulate, and I'll show you that. But first we have to head over to the working water tank for the cows. In this tank, I've been working with the idea of just giving the cows enough water to drink to last them a day, allowing them to drink it down as low as possible at night and then refilling it the next morning again, kind of repeating the process over and over. This tank holds about 1,500 gallons, allowing each cow in here about 10 gallons for each filling. Over the last few days, they've been drinking it down without any heaters, and I've been refilling it daily. This, however, is going to be hard to manage when it does get warmer, as cows will drink more, and they're also going to find ponds and reservoirs and other sources of water that'll open up during the day. But it's always a learning process. With that, we can actually pretty much call it a day. Like I said, the camera batteries aren't lasting very long out there in the cold, so I'm kind of run out of stuff to do. I guess I'm going to go inside and get some hot coffee or some cocoa or something, and if you're a little chilly, I would suggest the same. More results will be coming from our stock water tank experiments, and I hope to actually be able to get those results down on paper for you guys that are interested. I'll let you know once we have all those compiled. With temperatures from this cold front expected to hit minus 50 degrees across the northern part of the U.S., I hope that those affected will be safe and keep warm. Only be outside as long as you need to, and dress, well, in fact, overdress for the weather. I'd rather be a little warm than lose a party part. This week on Our Wyoming Life, I hope you have the chance to join us on Thursday for our live stream, and of course we have a brand new video coming out this Sunday where we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the cows and their psychology. Until then, keep warm and have a great week. And thanks for joining us in our Wyoming Life.